Hi, my name is Neb Camus Sen Atumre, and this is the 7th video in the series 200 Fallen Angels. There is more racism inflicted on black Arabs in Arabic-speaking countries than the black man experiences here in America. He is subjected to degrading incidents of social, economic, and religious racism at any time, and usually there is nothing he can do about it. The Indo-Arabs are a mixture of East Indians mixed with Europeans called Euro-Asians or Euro-Arabs or Indo-Arabs, which they themselves call El-Arabu El-Muta'arriba or El-Arabu El-Musta'arriba, which are fake Arabs. And they tied into our Moors, the real Arabs' vine. They look down on Mooro-Arabs, which are called Arab Asil, pure Arabs, which is the exact same seed from which descended the Messiah Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ, who is glorified in the Holy Quran more than any other prophet, and the prophet Mustafa Muhammad Amin, Ibn Abdullat, the receiver of the Holy Quran. And this is irony that just won't quit. Now, the Bible teaches in Genesis 10:25 that Arabs came through Joktan, or Qahtan, the son of Eber, the son of Shelah, the son of Arphaxad, the son of Aram, the son of Shem, the son of Noah of the flood. This would mean that Arabs are really biblical Hebrews, who would also be Morenos or Moors, because the brother of Shem was Ham. Genesis 5:32. And Ham in Aramaic Hebrew means burnt black or hot. So the question should be, who are those masquerading as Arabs today that are terrorizing the world? The title Arab was associated with Ishmael or Ishmael, son of Abraham, and Hagar, the Egyptian girl of the Bible, Genesis 16:15 and 16. When in actuality, you will not find the word Arab there. It is a false claim by Arab, Ghair Asil, meaning impure, mixed blood, not pure Arab, to try to fit themselves into our Nubian family lines. When Ishmael and his Egyptian mother, Genesis 6:1, were put out of the house of Father Abraham, the Chaldean, Genesis 11:31, they settled in the desert area of the wilderness, Genesis 21:14. The dialect Ishmael began to speak became known as Arabic from Ashur, Genesis 10:11. They called them Arabs or Arab Asil, meaning pure Arabs, because the word Arab is Arabia, meaning to wander, and is used today in Arabic world for automobiles. They wandered from place to place as Bedouin or camel raisers, thus the name Arab. They observed strict marital laws and seldom mixed or tied into other people's genes. Out of Ishmael's seed, only Kedar and Hadar were the only two who remained pure, and those Mush Arab, which means not Arab, are not them. The Moroccans are a mixture of Nubian, French, and the Spanish. The Egyptians are a mixture of Nubians, Nubians, Greeks, Persians, mixed with Turks, a mixture of Russian and Mongolian extract. The Libyans are a mixture of Nubians, Italians, and some Germans, Romans, Spanish, Turks, British, French, and Greeks. The Saudi Arabians are a mixture of Nubians, Turks, Nubians, Europeans, and Hindus, different breeds of them, Sabaeans, Nabateans, Shemites, and Romans. The Jerusalemites are a mixture of Nubians, Phoenicians, Syrians, Hebrews, Turks, Europeans, and some Mongolian extract. The original Iranians are the Elamites, the Black Sea. The Iranians now are a mixture of Nubians, Europeans, and Hindus, some with Mongolian extract. So as you can see, a lot of Moors of Tamare, Egypt, and the rest of North Africa gradually became lighter by waves of invasions and colonizations by the Romans, Greeks, Hyksos, Turks, some Asians, Persians, and Hindu descendants of the 200 fallen angels. There is something that they, the cursed seeds of planet Earth, have to learn to accept, and that is, they cannot get rid of all African Americans because we are holding the planet together. We are the magnets on planet Earth, and Anu, Alyun El, is the magnetic center of the universe, the infinity above all mathematics. If all blacks were eliminated, there would be a star holocaust. All the planets in this solar system would go back into the sun, causing a domino effect, which will eventually destroy the entire universe. Conan, you are not actually killing us, you know. I am talking about the recent spate of annihilations of young Nubians on America's streets, but rather you are sending us. We are etheric energy which can neither be created nor destroyed, you know, your basic high school science. We simply return to an etheric existence to return here at a later time period to finish college or to move on to other galaxies, universes, dimensions, realms, or realities. Our etheric bodies are clothed by our physical bodies, so you are only destroying the wardrobe. Science of stupid. Notwithstanding, we still love you as a part of Anu's creation, okay? So, Nubians, you have nerves at the base of your brain, and these nerves are called magnetic particles. The ancient Hindus call it the 12 occult nerves, the 98 particles. They are like senders at the end of nerves, sending impulses to the brain, charges. The magnetic particles are connected to your glands. All these major glands, especially the thyroid gland, definitely work with the pineal gland, and the nerve particles are beneath it. They are charge centers that are sending out charges. Now, you may have noticed a set of grooves or lines in the center of some ankhs, especially the one belonging to Tut Ankh. Now, those grooves were a sensitive spark gap made from a sheet of glass covered with tin foil. This tin foil is divided into several strips by very fine razor cuts. using an instrument called, such as the Hertz loop detector, sparks are easily seen or observed jumping across each gap in the foil. The Ankh operates on a principle known as galvanic skin response. You see, the skin is the key to the soul, portraying subtle psychological changes, and a high frequency oscillator like the Ankh has the advantage of producing high voltages at low current, so they can be handled safely. The ancient Egyptians were scientists who were always depicted as holding objects, ankhs, which were actually coils, and Z pillars, which were actually batteries in their hands. These coils were tuned to the reverse flow of vortex energy generated between two sites. Between the avenue of the sphinxes stood two generators, A and B. A is sending, B is receiving. Between these two antennas, a solitron or vortex field is generated. These are tuned to the South Pole vortex. The pyramid draws magnetism and energy from the center of the earth as well as the poles. One way this energy is used was electricity. The ancient ones knew the knowledge of energies and atoms long before modern science came onto the scene. They knew enough to design an electromagnetic antenna called a pyramid. Electricity is generated in the form of a battery. This is represented as a Z pillar, which is none other than a simple pile battery, meaning a nuclear reactor. The Z was thought to be, or thought to represent, the backbone of Osiris. It produced a stable electric current like the modern battery, and is considered to be the greatest invention of all time. The ancients knew that by attaching a high frequency coil to themselves, it produced a corona-like discharges from the body, causing luminous effects produced by high voltage, high frequency coils, just like in the technology today called Kirlian photography. Using this technology, objects appear to have a glowing aura around them when subjected to high voltage. The ancient Tamarayan deity Nitir Asaru, Osiris, his sparks were as bright as the septet or Sirius star, the sun. Our ancient descendants used the Ankh as a free energy generator. It produced electricity indefinitely without any fuel or other sources such as wind, solar, or hydro. You see, your melanin is like a superconductor or like a battery in a car or a lithium rechargeable battery. It always stays charged when it is exposed to things like light, sound, color, and sunlight. One of the things that melanin does is it actually absorbs ultraviolet radiation. Melanin is constantly reaching out towards the ultraviolet rays of the sun. So when you are around things like sound, light, sunlight, excuse me, or colors, the melanin will absorb the additional energy and recharge itself, taking your body to a new level. Your melanin can convert light energy to sound energy. People with melanin are like walking radios, and the very dark-skinned people are very sensitive to the different types of radio frequencies or thought patterns that are in the environment. But presently, your melanin is toxic and must be purified. First of all, we have to re-in-tune ourselves with Mother Nature and its perfect tone, Aum, which is the tone of the universe, the eighth biorhythm of Mother Earth, enabling you to make contact with higher beings, the Anunnaki, Nitiru, Elohim. Your soul has to be right. You have to be in tune with the craft, because it is a living organism. If you are not aligned correctly, when you touch the craft, you will be electrocuted. The Most High created a force that divides into two natures, 180 degrees of agreeableness and 180 degrees of disagreeableness, which is the nature of the two races of Nitiru. Man has labeled the parts as good and evil, but evil is not what Anu created. He created the two natures. The nature of the agreeable Nitiru is from the pure green light, ethereal. And the nature of the Jinn, the disagreeable Nitiru, was the impure amber light, smokeless fire, which is imperfect. This represents emotions where anger was once aroused. Man has both natures. Thus, he has 360 degrees of knowledge. The Nitiru, your parents, have 180 degrees of agreeable and disagreeable on the outside of them. For every disagreeable Nitiru, there is an agreeable counterpart, and vice versa. They live together and overcome the disagreeable from the outside, as opposed to humans who have agreeable and disagreeable within. The Nitiru are submissive, meaning that any job they are given to do, they will execute it without question or excuses. Unlike humans, who always have an explanation why they didn't do what they were told to do, always running away from responsibilities. If 180 degrees of agreeable conquers 180 degrees of disagreeable, then they have 360 degrees of agreeable. They will then move on to meet a counterpart that is 360 degrees disagreeable, and will have to conquer that and go on to become 720 degrees of agreeable and start their journey to become Etherians, who are pure energy. The Etherians are called the children of the All, who incarnated in the form of Anunnaki, which is known to many as Elohim, Elohim, or Nitiru to the ancient Tamarians, extraterrestrials, or Malaik. The Etherians are the higher form. Then they have the Igigi, who are the high priest of the Etherians. Then you have the Nitiru. If 360 degrees of disagreeable are conquered here, the Nitiru becomes Etherian again. You, as a human, your body consists of solid body, liquid blood, and oxygen, or gas oxygen. When you die, you return to gas, which is ether. If 360 degrees of disagreeable conquers, the being rules with the order of the Luciferians. Humans have 360 degrees of what is called will. When 180 degrees of agreeable overcomes 180 degrees of disagreeable, that person takes steps towards becoming an Itiru and even an Etherean, but on a lower level, because he is only 360 degrees, not 720 like the Nibiru. Their order of evolution starts from the highest and goes to the lowest end to the highest again. From an Etherean to Nibiru to Ristian, back up again. Where humans go from the lowest to the highest. A human goes from an infant, a weak state, to an adult, then to an old man, back to a weak stage again. Both cycles go full circle, in which you either spiral up or down. Now, for all those haters who cannot look at these statues and see that they are statues of Nubians, these are statues of the ancient Egyptians that are hidden from us by the Europeans. If you cannot see that these are pictures of Nubians, then you have a serious problem. Also over here is a section from the book called